Hi, Jonathan York from Bay Financial Partners, looking at investment markets. In the end, Hurricane Irma wasn't quite as bad as first anticipated, and the sort of models were forecasting. Little sort of subtle changes meant that parts of Florida were pretty much spared from a major hit, which obviously has reduced the sort of repair costs quite dramatically. Now looking at maybe sort of 20 to 30 billion, where initial estimates were running as high as sort of 90 to 100 billion dollars. So that's obviously been a little bit of a respite for the insurers, but also as well, obviously, the recovery program and the recovery there, with the money being put into the economy, will spur a little bit of growth going forward, and will sort of keep employment pretty low. It was still a pretty horrific event, but I'd say in the end, it was nowhere near as bad as first anticipated. That's in all sort of hovering around, still around that sort of 46 to 48 bucks a barrel. It'll just be interesting to see how that sort of progresses now towards year end. Certainly the US is still in pretty good shape, but the economy is growing at a pretty rapid rate, and this is going to be interesting now to see with the Fed meeting in September, where they look to start reducing the balance sheet. Obviously, with Hurricane Irma out of the way now, there was fears that could sort of impact on the Fed's decision, but I'd say with that being not quite as major as first anticipated, that might just lead to the Fed to start to reduce the balance sheet in September. Elsewhere, we've got the new iPhones being announced as well, and a lot of investors are expecting that to do pretty big things for the Apple share price, and that again will just sort of help sort of keep the Dow and the Nasdaq sort of pushing through at a pretty good rate. In the UK, the Brexit bill has got through its second reading, and again, that's seen as pretty encouraging. They're finally making a little bit of headway there, the UK government. And it's been quite interesting to see the reaction of the pound as well. On the latest inflation figures out of the UK, that was well above estimates and forecasts, and taking it above that sort of 2% for the Bank of England. On the back of that, we've seen quite a big rise in sterling, and that may just lead the bank to look to increase interest rates. Now, obviously, that's what a lot of these central banks have been trying to do: get a little bit of inflation coming back into the economy. Euro's also gained a little bit of strength as well. It's going to be interesting to see what the ECB does. There has been a little bit of talk around sort of October, November time. They might look to start to reduce a little bit of that quantitative easing. It's just going to be very interesting to see if that does actually play through, and then more importantly, what the reaction of the markets will be, and as well the reaction of the economies to see if they can just maintain that growth going forward. Here in New Zealand, again, sort of pretty interesting in the election race. The latest opinion poll has seen quite a big reversal. National has sort of gained the sort of momentum and is up around 3 to 4%. Labor's down for the first time since Jacinda Ardern has taken over, and this is going to be interesting now to see the next couple of polls, just to see if this was a blip or whether it is actually the start of a little bit of a more major trend. If it is a trend, then National would have enough to govern at the election coming up in September. If it is actually a fair reflection of the state of play, then National would have enough to govern at the election on September the 23rd. They say a week is a long time in politics. There's still a couple of weeks to go before September the 23rd and election day. So it's just going to be very interesting to see how it plays through. As always, if you are looking for income options, call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz for lots of interesting articles. We look forward to speaking to you soon.